share.
Hi, welcome to today's video. As you read in the title, we are today trying out the new Beauty Bay Metamorphic palette. This is a 16 pan eyeshadow palette in a complete new format that we have never seen before from Beauty Bay. So you see what look I create, and we will hop into the tutorial in just a couple minutes, but let's do some swatches. So before we head into the swatches, let's just take a very close look to this palette. What kind of vibe do you get from it? Let's be honest, this is major Izamaya vibe. And I know, like, you cannot reinvent the wheel, and you know, rectangular pans, square pans, round pans, heart shape pans, star shape pans. We had everything in 2023. I see why people are reminded of something, and to be honest, the exact palette that most people are reminded of is the Industrial 2. Here you have it. And I just did a comparison, like I haven't swatched them side by side, but just from looking at the shades, I can confirm there are kind of similar shades going on, but two shades are probably the same, and we will swatch these two, of course. Okay, so here we have Future, Spill. Could you please focus? I have to swatch in front of my face, otherwise it doesn't focus. Morph and Fidgetal. Reality, Prism, Convert, Oil. Oh, they're so delicious. They even feel different. Like, they're not the typical Beauty Bay formulation. They're onto something with this. Let me just tell you this. By the way, how do you swatch or like clean your fingers in between swatches? I do have a makeup wipe and something dry to wipe the fingers off, but there's still glitter on my hands. To be honest, they do feel like the Izamaya shadows. Like, there is a binding component in them that is just different. So let's move on with Avatar, Algorithm, Alchemy, and Mirror. And I always have to look down for the names because I just cannot remember these 2 seconds from swatching and applying it on my hand. And last but not least, we have Tech, Parallel, Portal, and System. The mattes do not swatch very well, let's say that, but they apply really good. You see in the video or in the tutorial that we are doing in a second that these mattes, they need to be built up, which I kind of like, because usually Beauty Bay shadows are very like punchy in the face shadows and you really have to be careful. But these are more soft and definitely need a bit of build up and work and blending work, which again, I actually don't mind that. So here are now both palettes like side by side. On top, obviously Beauty Bay, and here we have the Izamaya one. Yes, similarities, but not dupes, like not at all. But let's swatch the shades that kind of seem to be similar. So the first one is Alloy, and this, in my opinion, looks exactly like this on top. This is Future. So yeah, they're technically identical. The Izamaya formulation on top is a bit smoother, a bit more shiny reflective, but applied they actually look the exact same. And that's why I love the Future shade so much in the Beauty Bay one. So then we have Sodium from Izamaya, and that actually looks in the pan a bit like this one, like Fidgetal. So since I'm running out of space, I do this as an extra swatch. So this is Sodium from Izamaya, and here you have Fidgetal. So color-wise, they're like sisters, yes. But Fidgetal is much more shiny. They have the same vibe, like both shift in the same directions, but again, Fidgetal is definitely more shine wet looking, while Sodium is more of a smooth metallic. And to be honest, everything else is very, very different. I think the thing that most people think when they see this and maybe connect this with Izamaya is the pastel shimmer vibe, the violet shimmer vibe. The Industrial 2.0 is a very soft palette. This is not like Industrial 1. This is not neutral like the Wild Horse. This is a all metallic, 14 pan palette, but with a more softer vibe going on. While the 16 pan palette also has a soft vibe, but this is like truly centered towards the purples. Let me just show you them again side by side. And yes, I see where the similarities are, but to be honest, they're not dupes. They're just two shades that are similar, but that's it. But enough of the rambling, let's head into the tutorial. So in my reality, I haven't swatched these. So, you know, I filmed this in different order. I first do the makeup and then I do the swatches for the intro. But since I don't know how intense these shades are, I'm starting with Avatar. And I mean, Beauty Bay eyeshadow formula usually doesn't disappoint, but just to make sure this time. And I fluff this into the transition area. It's a very nice, cool toned transition-y shade actually. This is not too intense. It's pretty buildable, so I dipped in back like 3 times now to get this kind of a blend. To be honest, I like that much more sometimes than just having a punch of color in the face that can destroy like the whole look. Everything you worked on is destroyed by that then. I'm now going into system, and I hate, by the way, the fact that you cannot push like these to the back, because if you do this, the package will not close. Like it is already open because I did this, and I just hate this. Does it make sense what I'm saying? I hope it does. I use system just to intensify that gray. Ooh, I like it. You know how it is in those first impression looks, I try to use every single shade or like the highest amount of shades possible for this. I'm now tapping into reality, into this like very cool toned lilac shade. Ooh, that looks super intense. And I use this on the inner crease to lighten that up. Just a bit towards the center, like not all the way through, because we want to have a little bit of gradient going on in the crease from dark to light. For that, I'm tapping now into that cool blue shade. There is another blue in there, but it has a different undertone, and this now goes into the like deepest part of the crease, blended towards the purple. I dip back into Avatar and I'm just blending the edges out. For my liking, this outer blue shade could have been a bit darker, but it's okay like that. I can probably build it up to get a more dark look or more darkened look, but we'll leave it like that. The thing with this palette is the shimmer to matte ratio is very overwhelming in my opinion. Like I have 5 shimmers and 5 mattes and 9 metallic shimmer shades, and they're all so freaking pretty. I can't decide what to do. I really can't, because I want to use them all, but that's like, I don't have that much lid space. I'm now tapping into the shade Fidgetal. By the way, I had to Google what that is, and I'm impressed. Like, I don't know if it's the same in English as it is for Germans, but Fidgetal in German means the like mix out of physical and digital. I've never heard that word before. But this looks so delicious. This is a very different formulation for Beauty Bay. This is not as their regular shimmers. So let me apply Fidgetal now in the center. I try to concentrate most of the pigmentation to the center. Thing with multi-chromes or duochromes like that is always that they do not appear in the pan as they will apply on the lid. But this time I don't see a big difference. Like it appears in the pan as a lilac with golden shifts to it, and that is exactly what is this time happening on the lid. Oh, I love this shade. I'm now going into Prism, which is the same translucent base, so the vibe is very similar, but this shifts blue purple, yes, more blue than purple, but that works with the Fidgetal shade. Wow. They are very, very thin. Like these are not thick metallics, they're very thin in application. I kind of want to use one of the liquid eyeshadows that they came with, but I think I should have applied this beforehand. So we'll try them in another video. But for the rest of the lid, I want to use Tack, which is it the darkest shade? Because Convert and Oil, I think, are in the same depth level, but Tack is the one that appears like grayish black to me. I hope it applies like that. And I use this on the most outer part. Oh yes, yes. Have you ever seen a duochrome anthracite black kind of shade? Because this shifts from dark to light. I don't think I have a duochrome or multichrome like that. I'd really have to dig in, but I don't think I have. At least none with a black shift or like a dark grey shift, because it's not a pure black. It's more of a anthracite, dark greyish vibe. Oh. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm fucking excited. I'm going back into Figtail and I apply a bit more on that like line where the tech meets to have a better gradient going on. Maybe we can use one of the liquid eyeshadows for the inner corner, because the one, which is it? Surreal one, I swatched already on my hand, and oh, it appears white, but as soon as you blend it out, it's like full on glitter, light reflecting shebang, and I love that. I'm also going back in with some Prism and build that up a bit more. Because I'm dipping now into more for the lower lash line. And then we actually have used all 5 of the mattes. And I used this just to wipe it along. I also tap back into Avatar and I use this just to blend out the Morph shade. Let me just immediately tell you that this formulation of the metallics is a very indie-esque formulation, so I already have some cracks going on here. I usually have this actually with the Adept Cosmetics formulation because the shimmers, they are thicker than these, but there's also like the binding component in them makes them very easy to apply, kind of emollient like a liquid, but it's not a liquid. And these shimmers that I tried from here are basically the same. So they start to crease a bit, even though I wear eye primer and a glitter glue. But to be honest, I actually don't mind that. But I want to use another shimmer shade today. So which one? I know what we do. Let's go in with this liquid eyeshadow. This is the shade Surreal. And this looks like a plain white, but let me tell you, this is more than your plain white. And since I don't need much, I take a little brush, I dip something on the center, like wiping off that wand a bit. And now I apply this in the inner corner. And I take this also along the lash line, a bit into the center, and as always in the crease. Holy fucking shit. Completely different vibe, like very futuristic kind of. Thing is, I'm not a liquid eyeshadow girl, but nonetheless, I do have this pile of liquid eyeshadows accumulated in the past weeks because I kind of like the idea. So let's apply this also on the other eye. Wow, this is so intense. I love that. And we're actually using this as base now. So first, I'm using Portal, which is this beautiful purple. Violet. Is there a difference between purple and violet? I think there is. And with the Portal shade, I'm now going over the liquid shadow on the lower lash line. And I just dab my eye. Love that. Wow. This makes the blending a bit easier. A bit easier. And I like that there is still some of that white liquid shadow peeking through, but it's not like overwhelmingly there. But you see that there is something underneath and it just has more dimension. Loving it. Da, 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 da. I think I said it already, but whenever I start to sing while applying makeup, we're onto something good. And now let's use the shade that I'm most excited about, Future. This shade looks so stunning. It actually looks like the new Chanel Pearly White highlighter. It looks like that one shade in the Azamaya palette. It looks like everything I want and nothing that I need, but I want this. So let's hope my expectations aren't high. Woohoo! Oh, I think we're onto something great. So let's apply this. Oh, yes. I mean, on top of that liquid eyeshadow, of course, the effect is not as intense as it would be without But look at that. You know what we're going to do? I will quickly do my brows and then we will use this shade as brow highlight without any shadow underneath, so you can see the full potential of this beautiful motherfucking pan. I just had to. I thought this look screams for white mascara, and if I wouldn't have to go to the office today, I probably would have applied mascara also on the top lashes. But I think they're done, or like they're ready for the colorful looks, but I don't think they're ready for the like frosty flaking, I don't know, lashes. On the other hand, the last time I had this with the lower lashes and even with colorful mascara, nobody noticed. So let's do what I wanted to do. So I tap back into the Future shade. By the way, have I told you? This one. This is the shade Future. That makes me so excited. And I use this now as a brow bone highlight. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, how pretty can a shade be? Like, this is the most boring, useless shade, but to me, this is like everything that I've ever dreamed of. Okay, this is now the finished look. And let me tell you, like, just from my very first impression, the very first time that I used this palette, that this is what I have in mind when I think of a winter fairy. This is what I imagine when I think of a winter eye look. After all the shit that happened, just to receive this palette, it was worth it. The emails, the waiting, the constant anger that I had towards the shipping, worth it. Absolutely worth it. I just realized that I have a bit of like glitter fallout going on, probably from that inner corner highlight or from the brow bone application. But you know what? I like it because for some reason when I just look in the mirror and I turn my head, the way the light is hitting these glitter flakes, it kind of looks like snow. So I think for the yearly ranking, we have a certain problem now because there are 2 palettes in that ranking that are currently with the same points. Like, if you didn't know, I do rank my palettes with a point system. I have 3 things that I rate: quality, personal excitement, and color story. And out of that, like, rating, there is a overall points that it can reach. And 2 palettes are currently with the same points on the first place in my ranking, but maybe we have a third one. I do have some critique towards not quality in general. It's more a texture thing because I don't like the way they crease. Let me just tell you that this is like an instant point or a half a point off in a certain category, but I have to think that through. And my biggest pet peeve is actually the packaging, because this is what it looks like. And yes, I can close it, but I don't know. As soon as you like push it back to the side here, it doesn't close properly then. I don't like that, but I don't rate packaging, to be honest. Packaging is part of like my personal excitement. Oh, by the way, the highlighter that I use, that just makes my like my cheekbone look like somebody licked over it, is actually the new Chanel, Le Symbol de Chanel. And I bought the pearly white one, and this is so delicious. Okay guys, did you pick this up? How do you feel? How do you like this look? Do you want me to do more looks with this to see how versatile it is? Because for whatever reason, I kind of feel like I maybe end up with the same look, even though these are 14 different pans, but I have to play around with it more, but there are still unused palettes. So if you want to see more looks, please let me know down in the comments so that I can prioritize them. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.